Viewers, today we are going to see about X-rays. It occupies some portion in the electromagnetic spectrum. It ranges from 0.1 angstrom unit to 100 angstrom unit. So you all know that 1 angstrom unit is 10 power minus 10 meters. Okay. Suppose if you want to find the frequency, so we have the relation lambda is equal to v by f, so f is equal to v by lambda, where velocity is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So the production of X-rays is basically, you have a cathode, it is indirectly heated by a filament. The filament is given a supply of low tension, which is 12 volts, 6 volts. So you can give, so because of heat, electrons will come out of the cathode easily. Okay, and between this cathode and anode you give a high tension, very high voltage is given between cathode and anode, and the power supply is high tension. Generally the target used is this is the target, cathode. So this is cathode and this is anode. So the anode target is made up of tungsten or molybdenum. We will see what it is. So usually this is housed inside an evacuated tube like CRT, cathode ray tube. So when the electrons, you switch on the supply, so high tension and low tension will heat this cathode. So thermionic electrons are produced because of this heat. If you don't give low tension supply, then more voltage has to be supplied between cathode and anode to overcome the work function. So it is always advisable to give the filament supply. Filament supply is roughly around say 6 volts to 12 volts generally. So when the electrons released from the cathodes tries to strike the anode. Anode is made up of what? Tungsten or molybdenum. So when it strikes hard material, X-rays are produced. And X-rays can pass through the glass and you can see, we cannot see, but the rays can be absorbed by a photographic plate. So the velocity of light, X-ray velocity is nothing but which is equal to velocity of light, which is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Not affected by electric and magnetic fields. This X-ray is totally not affected by electric and magnetic fields, so it will go straight. It can pass through the flesh but not through the bones. Therefore, if you place a photographic plate, you can view the fracture in the bones. So this is one of the application in medical diagnosis. Okay, now we will see about what happens to voltage that we are going to supply a high tension for tungsten target. So the target is made up of tungsten. If you give 20 kilovolt, the range of wavelength covered, that means here you are applying 20 kilovolt supply. The range of wavelength is very less. Not only that, the relative intensity is also low. When you increase this high tension to 30 kilovolt, the range of wavelength is increased and also the intensity, relative intensity also increases. When you go for 40 kilovolts, the lambda, the wavelength, range of wavelength is increased and also the relative intensity is increased. When you give 50 kilovolts, high tension supply is 50 kilovolts. 50 kilovolts means what? 50,000 volts. Then the relative intensity is very high and also the wavelength, the spectrum is very high compared to 20 kilovolts. So therefore, if you operate at 50 kilovolts, you have a very good lambda wavelength and the relative intensity is very high. Therefore, you can see very clearly the images of the bone in a photographic plate or X-ray sheet. So now we compare with tungsten and molybdenum. See, tungsten at 35 kilovolts will have a huge wavelength range and the relative intensity is high. Whereas for the same voltage, if you keep molybdenum as the target, the intensity is very low, but at 2 points the intensity goes very high. That is, one is K beta and that is K alpha. At these two wavelengths, molybdenum the relative intensity is very high compared to tungsten. This is an important observation point when you compare with molybdenum and tungsten. Tungsten has a response like this, whereas molybdenum, it goes like this. At one particular wavelength, we have K beta where the intensity is maximum and then falls again. And another wavelength, we have K alpha, once again the intensity is very high at one particular wavelength. So we can try to use molybdenum at this particular wavelength if you want a good intensity. So this is an outline of X-ray, how it is produced and other things. Coming to the medical diagnosis, I already told you it can pass through the flesh but not through the bone. Therefore, we can easily find fractures in the bone, right? Then in medical therapy, for therapeutic treatment to kill certain tissues, malignant tumors, we use X-rays for killing the malignant tumors. To remove tumors and all, we use X-rays. That is medical therapy. And industries we use for to see the flaws in the welded joints. So suppose two materials are welded together. If there is any flaw, we do not know. So using X-rays, we can find out whether the welded portion is in good condition or it has inside some defects. So defects can be identified. Even in the manufacturing of steel, iron, we can see whether for laying of tracks, railway tracks and all, if there is some flaws in the railway tracks, it can be easily identified with X-rays. That is one of the big advantage that is in the industry side. Then to study the crystalline structure of a particular material, X-rays are used, because the X-rays is used as a diffraction grating. So using X-rays, we can identify the structure of the cells or molecules or atomic structure inside a particular material. So these are some of the advantages of X-rays. And X-rays, basically it was invented by Rontgen. So generally we have to call it as a Rontgen rays. But since he has named as X-rays, so people used to follow it as X-rays. So this is a short introduction about X-rays. Hope you have understood this topic. Thanks for watching. Nandri.